Well, everything's moved. This is so different. I'm going to change me and I'm going to go, Julia keeps disappearing on me.
Am I back? It's all
She's
right. The
back.
connection was lost, but then it came back.
Boom. There. Perfect. Hey, it's technology issues. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another Yoko Co live. This time I am not in Detroit. I am not in a convention hall. I am home. I am in my home studio and I get to be uh, overly warm because it's like hot outside today. So, all right, hang on before we get going. So, Julia and Sally are both East Coasters. Like, when the weather changes drastically, does that affect either one of you? Like, like for me, it's been really cold and then it gets really hot, and I'm just like, I get tired, and then I'm like, what's going on? Does that ever affect either one of you?
No, I just have to wonder when I'm going to turn it from AC back to heat and back to AC and try to keep the house as stable in temperature as possible.
Yeah, I'm an indoor cat, so the thermostat takes care of it all, and I get a little fussy if I have to go outside, I guess, but it's
Oh,
fine. It's fine.
Fresh
I
air.
was
That is that.
yeah, I was having a conversation with the kids about that because we're going camping next
Oh,
weekend,
fun.
and they're like, "Is it going to be cold or is it going to be hot?" And I live in Indiana, so that means my default answer is like, I don't know. It's
Yes. It's going to be a whole lot. Yes.
yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
If this is the first time that you've joined us live or you've ever watched one of these, welcome. We're glad that you're here. This is a great opportunity for our team to discuss different things and different elements that we're passionate about, and we're able to share those elements and those things with the entire interwebs. So today I'm joined by Julia and Sally. Julia, if you want to kick us off, just give us a real quick introduction to who Julia is, and then Sally, if you want to go right behind Julia, that'd be fantastic.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I am the VP of Business Operations. I've been here for a while, working on all the things behind the scenes that help the team operate and flow, and just kind of set the stage so that everybody client facing can go out and be creative and brilliant and thrive and make that impact. So I'm very behind the scenes focused, and I love it doing all the things.
Yeah, ditto. So one tier right behind Julia as the executive assistant here. I do help Chris with a good bit of his time and calendar and things like that, but then helping Julia also with the supporting the team and helping them to support our clients as successfully as possible.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited about today because when we were preparing for this episode and this conversation, it was very apparent early on. We were like, hey, we get to actually talk about the people and not necessarily the technical side of how everything works, which those are great, like having the conversations about RFPs or about integrations or content or things like that. Very, very valuable. But I think that there is a very great and very wonderful element of understanding the people that you work with and understanding the human side of how an organization works, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Is how does that people process work within Yoko and for the inner workings, but then also the workings that kind of connect. So I'm rambling. I'm going to just go ahead and kick things off. Sally, this first question I want to kind of throw your way. I know that you are very passionate about people. I know that you care about people very intently, and that shines through in Slack and in video calls that we have. I know our team appreciates that. So here at Yoko, we have that wonderful tagline of "Do good, better." But I would love to hear from you if you want to put your Sally spin on this, if you will. Like, what does that mean to you? What does that mean? You have a lot of conversations with the team members here. Like, how does that come through? How does that actually formulate through the relationships that we have here?
Yeah, I think at its foundation, everyone here or the people we work with as clients, if you're here as part of the team or someone we're connected with, it's because you share one central core value. And it appears to me that that core value really is that there is good in the world and that there are many ways to amplify that good in the world. And we have a role to play in doing that. So whether you're on our team or you're one of our clients, there is that core belief that there is good and it is worth following and worth amplifying, and we have something to do about it. So it's a group that hasn't given into cynicism and is still driving forward with some hope. And so I think it shows in the work we do, who we choose to work with, and all of that. So it really when you strip everything else away, I think it comes down to that one core value of there is good.
Yeah. Julie, anything you want to add on to that?
I mean, I agree with everything that Sally is saying. We spend so much of our life at work, and so being able to contribute and spend time doing something that has meaning, that has impact. And, I'm personally grateful for having found Yoko years ago. And I'm very grateful that back in the day, Chris, Max, and the team at that point decided to adjust and say, like, how do we actually want to spend our time? And that has just led us to be the organization that we are, which opens the door to working with some really incredible people, both internally and externally, where everybody's working towards a shared goal of, like Sally said, there are multiple ways to invest in good in the world. And no matter your skills or specialty, there's a way to do that. And I love that we get to do that on a daily basis.
Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic. I know, being one of the newer team members, it was very apparent very early on that this value and this ecosystem was not necessarily just based on, the digital side and the widgets and things of that nature, but it's very much based on, hey, how are we working together, and is everything jiving the way that it's supposed to? And there is a lot of intent behind that as well. So Julia, you had mentioned, like, when you came onto the team, when it was just Chris and Max and maybe just a couple other individuals, things have changed. The organization has grown. When you look at the team and, when there are individuals that are interested in working within the team, because, I mean, there's like that internal team, and then there's the external team, which are the organizations that we get to partner with. I call them the external team, but what I'm saying is those partnerships and those organizations. When you're looking, or when they're looking to come on board, what are some of the things that go through your mind beyond just the skill set, the experience, so on and so forth?
Yeah. Great question. Yeah, there's so many talented people in the world. I mean, so when we're looking for appropriate team fit, I mean, I get to talk to so many people who are incredibly talented, but we're looking for people who something beyond just the base skills, right? We're looking for the differentiator, and I think what shows up for us, or what we're looking for, are the specific ways that people think, that they want to show up, that they communicate, and they have to be aligned. They have to be aligned with the type of work we want to do. They have to value people. They have to value the impact. And additionally, it's not just finding people who can fit into the culture. It's people who can add to the culture, because we never want to be a stagnant organization, right? As technology changes, as the world changes, as things shift and adapt, we as people and as the organization and how we approach project work also has to shift. And so finding people who can come in, and each individual will help us level up as a core group, because we come in with very different life experiences and perspectives and preferences, and we want people to come in and challenge assumptions. Jared, I tell everybody when we're onboarding, like, ask questions, push back, like, ask us, why are we doing things? Because in that question, we'll either say, yeah, great question, we've tried it and this is the result, and that's why we do it this way, or we'll say, that's a great question, we've never thought about that, let's explore it and let's figure it out. And we have to have people, especially in a remote environment, who are comfortable operating with a high level of trust and autonomy. They can be independent, but they're also willing to challenge constructively, poke holes, question things, be creative. So it's about the alignment, but it's also about the expansion of who we are as a team and what we can do and the impact we can have as those individuals come in. So skills are great, they're necessary, but it's these other things too that are really important.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Sally, would you like to add anything onto that?
No, co-sign wholeheartedly.
Easy.
Well, so this next question I'll kind of throw out to both of you, and whoever would like to kind of take point on it can jump in and go for it. But Julia, you made an interesting comment about, like, working together, and I'm going to use some words that you didn't say specifically, but I think in a lot of organizations, there is this, it's a confusion between an organization that's like genuinely built around the people, and then an organization that just tolerates the differences or the uniquenesses or the weirdnesses, or the things that make individual people individual. So I would love to find out from kind of both of your perspectives, how does that show up daily? Like what are the things? And I see it, but I don't want to answer it because I want you guys to answer it. But how do we approach that in that meaningful way versus just saying, oh yeah, we tolerate this because of X, Y, and Z reasons, or because we legally have to, which is, I think, the most default, hey, we have to legally do that. But it doesn't ever feel like that. It never feels like we do this because we legally have to. It genuinely feels like we do this because we want to and we care about. So I don't know if you want to expand upon that a little bit more.
You want to go for Sally? Or you want me?
No, I will, sure. I think this is like fundamental to what makes the work we do really special and really unique. And I think it makes our partnerships with our clients really shine. They feel special, and they're long lasting because of this thing that we do. But you're right, there's no such thing as tolerating here, there's celebrating. And I think that's a differentiator between other places like you were pointing out. And it's baked in structurally. We set our own hours, we have some core hours, you got to be here, but then otherwise you kind of get to set your workload and manage it on your own. We trust you to do that. But that's because we know that people are different and they think differently. Their brains are on at different times. So there's stuff like that that's baked in structurally, but then there's also just this genuine appreciation for all that people are, in lots of unique ways. And I think that impacts the work, because when you're not gatekeeping yourself, you're not gatekeeping any of your ideas, you bring your best self to the table. You're not spending any energy on protecting against like having to put up a front. So you're not spending any energy on that. You're able to give all of your best energy, all of your best ideas to the work. And then I think that shows up in the work, and I think it reflects for the clients. It makes them feel safe and free to bring their best selves when they're working with us. And so I think it's just a really special thing that it's really hardwired and baked into the structural stuff, but just it's everything here, that people are just people and people first.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think when you think about tolerate, like if you have to tolerate somebody, it's like, oh, you can be yourself within the confines that I'm willing to accept, but I'll tolerate it, right? There's kind of this negative connotation to it. And, I think our general approach is to be very aware that people are coming in, again, with all these different life experiences and perspectives, right? But everybody's in a different chapter or a different phase in life. They have a lot of different personal things that are happening, whether it's, excuse me, kids or elderly parents, or, my car just exploded in the driveway, or something like weird where you're like, hey, I got to go handle this. And what we really aim to do is make sure that we have a high level of respect and support for our team members, that when things come up, or the ways that we want to approach the work, we provide that flex and autonomy around that. Because if you are required to sit at your desk at a certain amount of time and your brain's not in it, what's the point of that anyway? You're not going to be contributing in a way that's meaningful, or you're not going to be bringing your best work. So if you need to be somewhere else, be somewhere else. And then when you're here, be here, and we can support both equally, I think. And I think it's also about creating a space where we're not putting people in boxes. We'll provide, in general, the framework for projects, or the framework for people to be successful, and understand that one project may start here and end here, and they have to kind of take this path, or one other project kind of has to take this path, and the flexibility to kind of understand and adapt to what is happening on team members, on client lives, things that are happening from their project wise, and just be flexible around that. So rather than just saying, here's our project, you have to do these things, or here's our team, you have to behave this way, it's understanding like, hey, I see you, I understand you going through that right now. How can we adapt this, and how can we make it successful within kind of the shape and the picture that we're dealing with at this moment in time?
Yeah, no, I love that. It's it's interesting because it shows up all the time. Like just a week or two ago, there was a team member who had shared some information through Slack about, hey, this is some stuff that's going on, and then we had another team member very quickly say, hey, if you need something, like what you're talking about is only about a half an hour away from where we live. I'm happy to go run over there and make sure that things are all good and whatnot. And just uh, luckily they didn't need to, but it was just the willingness to say, hey, I'm here to support you, and I'm here to care about you, and I'm here as a teammate, um, but a very dedicated teammate, which is refreshing. And it's probably the wrong word to say, but I feel like in today's ecosystem of how business works and how just the world is working, sometimes refreshing is good. Sometimes just being able to see something and appreciate something for what it is really, really nice. So I appreciate that you both shared that insight about that internal working and the core eco of who we are. I'd like to get your opinion also about kind of that external side and like the client side, because I feel that there's a very similar ethos of, hey, we respect and we care about those that are on our team, but we also respect and we care about the clients and the organizations that we work with. So Julia just wrapped up this one, so I'm gonna ping pong it back over to Sally to kind of kick us off on this one. But I'd love to hear a little bit more about how does that look for us on a day-to-day basis, but also how would it look for the client? How if there's a client that's watching this or a prospective client that's watching this and they're like, oh, I wonder what it's like to work with them, what should they expect?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we hope it's a really good time. I mean, at a baseline, we really hope that when our clients are working with us, they're enjoying their work, because it should be fun, or maybe not even fun, but just pleasant to get to do this thing that you're tasked to do. That should be a pleasant experience. Bottom line. And the way we start with that is that the foundation is, you're not meeting with a project, you're meeting with people. And those people are making something for other people, right? So the product they're creating is going to eventually be used by other people. So there is no project, there is no product without the people making it and using it. And so really keeping that front of mind. So if you're in a call about a project, hopefully we're taking a few minutes right off the top to say, hey, how are you? What's going on? What's new with you? What are you interested in at this moment? What's going on in your workplace? How is that affecting the project maybe? And just really always kind of taking the temperature of the people as a factor in how successful is this project going to be. So Julia mentioned that various timeline of a project. We're gonna make space for, you got a conference coming up, nobody's gonna be in the office, clearly the deadlines need to be extended around that. Or so-and-so is going out on maternity leave, okay, we need to front load things, make sure they're ready to do something, or we've got what we need from them so they can be with their new child, right? So really seeing that that's a person. A job is part of what they do in their day, but it's not even close to the whole thing, and it's not even close to everything they bring to the table. We've reached out to clients who have been missed meetings because they were sick. Well, we can send some soup or some NyQuil, or parents have died or pets have died, and so all of that affects what these people bring to their workday, and it doesn't cost us anything to see that, to notice that, to acknowledge it, to incorporate it into how we're going to proceed. Maybe just for that call, or maybe as we move, through the whole project. But it's you got to notice people, and I think that's the baseline for the way we try and interact with our clients.
Yeah. Julia, anything you want to add in?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that. There's so many extended relationships we have with clients, and it's wonderful. That's, people are first and foremost, and so these individuals are working at organizations that are making a difference, and we are privileged enough to work with them. And so it is people first, and we connect. Yeah, we're here for a reason. There's going to be a project. We do, to Sally's point, we want to make it as pleasant as possible. There will be times where it's overwhelming or stressful. There's a lot of things that need to be done, but you know, if we can make it as enjoyable and
as pleasant and, you know, moving forward.
Keep running with it, Sally. Keep going. You got it, Sally.
Trying to hive mind with you, Julia.
Yeah, I can still hear it every time it like clicks up. I don't know what's happening, but just being able to connect with people who are making the impact and amplifying that impact at the same time, it makes what we do even more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you can tell, like, that's the cool thing is, like, I think everybody can tell whether they're within the team or if they're a client. Like, it's very much you can sense it. You can absolutely sense it. This is really funny. Like, I'm thoroughly enjoying this, by the way.
I'm glad you are.
Because every time I bring you back, your face just gets more and more frustrated. So each time you pop up, yeah, watch, here it goes. This is
she is not loving it.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
It's okay. It's technology, and 60% of the time, technology works every time. So last time it was on my end, and you know what? I'm not going to move anything around this time. We're just going to leave it as it is. As we kind of come up to the conclusion, because I feel like maybe this is technology saying, "Okay, you guys are good. You guys are good. You've got everything. We're good. Wrap it up." I want to throw out one last question. Actually, I have two questions. So the first one's going to be a super short one. Sally, you had mentioned, if somebody's sick, send out some soup. Like, what's your go-to soup if you're not feeling well? Now, it's a specific question because it's only when you're not feeling well. What is your go-to soup?
Is this for Sally?
First, well, I'm going to ask you next, Julia. I was just
I have to
Sally
go first.
go
Well, can I just say, if I'm sick, soup isn't what I want. I know that's a very unpopular opinion on this team, but it's not. I'd rather.
That's okay.
I'd frankly rather starve a little bit than eat soup when I'm sick, and I'll just wait till later and have something a little more delicious.
That's okay. So no soup for Sally. Would rather just no food. Let her feel better. Julia, do you like soup when you're not feeling well, or would you prefer like a pot roast or something?
Yeah. Anything cream based? No. I don't know that I go to soup when you're sick. I think it's just because it's warm and comforting, right? But I would say that if you're sick, broth based soup, that's the way to go. Anything, whatever you might put in there that is palatable to your taste buds at the time.
That's fair. That's good. Okay. All right. You were just talking about soups, and I was like, oh, I'm going to ask her what favorite soups are. So, to wrap things up, people watch this live. Sometimes people watch this a day after, a week after, a month after. If they are contemplating reaching out, because like right now, I know as of this live video, we have some open opportunities at yokoco.com/careers, I believe. So if you're watching this live and you want to go check some stuff out, we are looking to bring some more team members on board. That would be the spot that you want to go to find out details about all of that. But if they're thinking about joining the team, or if they are a client and they are contemplating, hey, we're wanting to rebuild our website, or we're looking for some help with some digital things that we excel in, what would you encourage them as, like, hey, this is the takeaway. This is the one thing that we hope you remember as you stop watching or listening to this video.
Sure, I'll pop in. So we love to do good work, but really when it boils down to it, it's the human element of it. It's people first, the people we get to work with, the people that's internally and externally, the people who are impacted by the work that's being done by these amazing organizations that we're partnering with, and keeping that filter in mind at all times. When those things are aligned, everything else is it lines up very well, and it works. Things just get better. And so being able to stay people focused from the very first conversation we have, whether that's from an applicant or from an inquiry from a client coming in, just treating people as people. And then that is just a core premise of how we operate, just the human element for it. And it makes the work enjoyable. It makes coming to work fun. Even the most stressful of times, it makes watching the success of projects and the hard work that clients have put in, they pour themselves into these projects for an end result that then affects so many people. It's just, it's pretty great to watch. So from my side, it's just, we care about the work and we care about the people. And when those things are aligned, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. I would just say it's really, really nice to go to work every day with people you like, people you trust, people you don't doubt their integrity, their responsibility. Like, you just have full faith in these folks every day. And then knowing that we're partnered with other people just like that who are trying to do good, you just get to feel good about it every single day. And so no matter what amount of stuff you get done, you've contributed to the good, right? Like, every little bit counts, and every person has something to do to make it count, and that just feels good.
I love that. I appreciate you both. Thank you for jumping on here and chatting with me and having some great dialogue and back and forth. And hopefully those folks that have tuned in or they're listening while they're driving safely, of course, very, very safely. If there's anything that we can do to encourage you or support you or empower you, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can find out all of the information about all the cool things that we do at yokoco.com. That's yokoco.com. You can reach out to us via email. All of our contact information's on there, and we're all over the place. So we would love to grab coffee with you if you are somewhere by where somebody else is at, because that's always fun to do. Yeah, Julia, Sally, thank you so much. I appreciate both of you, and I think that's going to wrap it up for today.
Thank you, Jared. Appreciate it.
Jared.
My pleasure. Bye, everybody.